At this point, you kind of just prepare to play the game with the guys that are in the building, and let the front office and stuff handle that. Yeah, we got a tough test with the Detroit Lions, and we're going to try to focus on how we can win with the guys that are here. I know how special it is here, and I know how special of a thing we got going. I never try to stay. I stay out of contract stuff, but I know I'm lucky to be in this place, and I want to go out there and win as many championships as I can.
Is there any updates on Chris Jones? How he's handling this situation? Do you want to talk about it?
Oh, man. Chris, can you please come back? You're really scaring me, man. I don't get it. You must know something that I don't know, because I just don't get it. I really want to get another Super Bowl ring with you, brother. This is me bargaining you to just come back and play football for the Chiefs. Please, we need you.
Well, I just hope
you bad. And I don't know what the situation is. Obviously,
the situation is you guys aren't paying him enough, and I think you should hold off as long as possible. Especially past, what do we play?
Jason, I'm trying to get him back in the office.
Chris, I need you. Listen, don't let them do this to you, Chris.
We play
you
week
need
10.
to hold strong, my man. For all the other D tackles in the NFL, you cannot take this injustice. You must stay through at least the Eagles game. Then you can come back. I think that's the appropriate time.
He's just the best defensive player in the league right now.
It's pretty good.
He's deserving of all the money in the world. Chris, I love you. Please come back now.
El Travador.
That's Travis and Jason Kelce. Look, I think Travis recognized after he said what he said initially that that's potentially problematic. You got to be careful with what you say about a guy who's holding out. And that wistful talk of winning championships, and I love it here and everything's great and I just want to win more championships. Look, that's what the fans are thinking. Mahomes and Kelce want Chris Jones there. But you got to be careful when it comes to getting between a man and his contract. And I think Kelce Travis tried to do the best he could to put the toothpaste back in the tube. But that open plea, again, the fans are looking for anything they can sink their teeth into. That open plea helps them, for themselves, paint Chris Jones as being the one who's unreasonable, the one who's being greedy. Kelce was like, I don't know what's going on. He must know something I don't. Well, no. He, unlike you, doesn't want to play for less than he's worth. He, unlike you, isn't going to be satisfied by simply pursuing championships. He, unlike you, Travis, isn't going to play deep into his 30s. That's what this is about. Mahomes is going to play deep into his 30s. Kelce's going to play deep into his 30s. Chris Jones has limited opportunities. Chris Jones has value. He's trying to get full compensation for the value. But where it becomes a problem, you've got these guys, and this is what the Chiefs are trying to maintain, guys who are great at what they do, who are willingly taking less so they can win championships. That's how you rig the system in your favor. If you can capture that feeling, that vibe of your best players taking less, everybody takes less, it's easier to win. And that's what the Chiefs are trying to do.
Yeah.
And if they can pull it off, great. But Chris Jones is keeping them from pulling it off.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, hey, listen, all teams are trying to do that. You get it. Yeah, a few guys like that take few million off here and there and all that. It does trickle down to the rest of the locker room, and that could be your 4 or 5, quality football players on your football team that you didn't have because people made that sacrifice. But there's a fine line, and players don't want to go too far to where it's like, wait, yeah, okay, I'm giving back to the team, but I'm not even in the ballpark of what I deserve here. And that's where Chris Jones is trying to strike that balance there. And listen, the fact that he's not asking for Aaron Donald money or more than that, to me, he is striking that balance. I understand what the Chiefs are probably saying. Hey, these guys are young. Quinnen Williams, Dexter Lawrence, they got this. They have years left in their career. That's probably their argument. Either way, Chris Jones is going to go, so what? They're young, whatever. I was better than them last year. I'm going to be better than them this year. I'm not falling off earth right now, right? So we'll see. We'll see where this whole thing goes. But I hope they do figure out a way to get it done here sometime sooner rather than later. And you're right, Travis Kelce, I think he was making a play. Of course, he wants him back, and then he realized, wait, I'm kind of breaking the locker room code here by going in a little too hard on a guy's money situation. That's something you got to be careful at in the locker room, and that's why he then, I think you're right, at the end went, hey, he's the best defensive player in football. We got to pay him whatever he wants, and he tried to do right by Chris Jones there.
And think about this. I know we need to take a break, but this is a consequence of this new age of player-generated content during their careers. Without this podcast, Travis Kelce isn't in a position to try to do it in a very entertaining, engaging way. I'm trying to be funny, and it was a good back and forth with him and his brother. But not that long ago, you don't have that playing out while the guy's on the team. And you've got, weekly locker room availability. Then you got something after the game. You're not trying to entertain anybody in that setting. You're just answering questions from reporters. It creates a situation where you got to be very careful. If you're going to delve into player-generated content while your career is happening, you need to know where that third rail is, and you need to stay away from it. Because if I'm Travis Kelce, when Chris Jones walks into the locker room, I don't want him to be walking in with a plan of coming to find me because he's pissed off about the things I said, because I'm not messing with Chris Jones. We had a draft not that long ago of quarterbacks that we don't want to piss off. I don't want to piss off Chris Jones, even if I'm Travis Kelce or Patrick Mahomes. I don't want Chris Jones mad at me.
No, I mean, of course not. I mean, Chris Jones is, he's there's only a few people in that locker room that'd be willing to stand up to Chris Jones, and they would probably be another defensive tackle or an offensive tackle. He's the man. We know that. And Chris Jones is one of those guys, when you see him in person, he is impressive. You want to stay on his good side, that's for sure.
You disappoint me. You left one out. This is something we've been talking about all the time as we're trying to get running backs paid. Isaiah Pacheco would get in his face.
He could hang. That's what's amazing about running backs.
That's
Back
the
to
point.
That guy.
That's
he can
the
hang.
point.
You're right.
Exactly.
I know. That's the point. Exactly right. And they're not getting paid either.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.